There we go. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Get ready for the stream. I'm here with my father today. You like that one? Was that good?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. I may have stolen that from someone in chat at one point, but it's mine now, so that's how you do it. You got any bread puns? You're not on a roll?
No.
I can't think of puns off the cuff very well. All right, let's see.
Ooh.
Let's see, where's chat at? Pull chat over here. There we go. Hello, welcome in everyone. Hello, the Radman. Hello there, USS Liberty Incident. Hello there, DV8. Welcome in. Hi, Minna. Hi, Ice Pops. I guess because your popsicle looks like, I don't know what flavor that would be. I think someone said sea salt. That looked like sea salt flavor. I don't know what sea salt flavor ice cream would taste like though. It's like a cool blue ice cream. Howdy Minna, hi, and Pops. Hello there, Otter Von Biscuit. You know how I'm bad at reading?
Yeah.
These usernames can be awful sometimes. They're so hard. Alright. Let's see. Let me move this slightly so I can no, go out. Oh, now I'm trapped. Oh well. Okay. So today I'm here with my dad. You guys have sent in questions. I have a handy dandy question box right here. See?
I see.
Cute little question box. I wonder if I can expand that one. I'll leave it there. So we'll probably just go ahead and roll into some questions. I don't know. Is there anything you'd like to say before we get started?
Nah.
All right. Let's see. The first question. Why is OBS like this? How do I make it go back? I was going to minimize it and I made it too big. Now I can't get it to go smaller. Oh well. Let's see. Where's my chat? Come back, chat. Why is chat being weird? Why can I not get it to pull up anywhere? It's bothersome. I'm not sure how to fix it. You know, one of the what's the word? Ultimates. Inevitabilities of streaming.
What's that?
Something's going wrong. Always scuff. That's what they call it, scuff. I had to learn all the streamer, particularly VTubing lingo. Milliardo had to like sit me down and explain what yab and all these other things. Or like the people would do like a 0 and a 7, and I saw a bunch of 0s and 7s, like or O's, not zeros, O's and 7s, and I was like, what the? And he's like, that's saluting. It looks like a little head with a little hand. There's all these little things I had to learn. I don't know why the chat is doing that to me today. So that's too bad. I'll try one more time. I'm not good at the tech stuff, but okay, yeah. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh well. I will keep chat over here. Anyway, shall we do the first question?
Sure.
All right. First question is thoughts on Minna's rise to be one of the best VTubers to ever exist.
That best is questionable.
You don't think I'm the best?
I don't see very many VTubers, so.
You don't have a point of reference?
No, there's no point of reference.
Do you think I'm a good VTuber?
I think so, yeah.
He listens to my streams.
Yeah.
Do you think you've listened to all the streams or just some?
Not all of them. I've listened to quite a few. It depends on when I got time.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite stream so far?
I don't know. The one when you're asking your mom's questions and their stories, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. I have in the marshmallows, there's some questions that she had gotten that are still there. I might ask you just for fun. Let's see here. Let me get to the next question. There's probably some more about VTubing. All right, here's another one. Let me put it in the little box. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. All right, next question is, favorite book you have ever read?
I guess you'd have to break that into genre, really, because I got a lot that I read that I like. Overall, favorite?
I guess you could pick some from different genres, because I know you like Western.
Yeah. Favorite book?
You read a lot of books.
Yeah, a lot of books.
You read a lot of theology books.
I like Brave New World.
Yeah.
That was a good book. The Divine Comedy was really good.
What do you think of, I haven't read it yet, but the, oh gosh, now I can't remember the name. You read it to the younger boys when they were small.
Green Eggs and Ham?
No. The like the layers of hell and purgatory. And
oh, that's the Inferno.
Inferno.
That's the first book of the Divine Comedy.
Oh,
there's
okay.
The Inferno, then there's one about purgatory, then there's one about paradise.
Okay.
But the Inferno is the one people hear about all the time, and that's just the first of
Dante's Divine Comedy.
Yeah.
Okay, that I was missing the Dante is what sticks in my mind. From
yeah,
that.
that's the author.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what about Westerns?
Well, there's 3 authors I like, and they're just fun books, good stories. And there's Louis L'Amour, Max Brand, and Zane Grey. But of those, I like Louis L'Amour, and I like he wrote a series of books following, fictional family from England over to the New World and then into the West, the Sacketts. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah. I'll have to read those at some point. I don't think I've read. I'm not sure if I've read any Westerns. Give me a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Says a man of the classics. Purgatorium and Paradiso are often overlooked these days.
Yeah, that's the other 2 books.
Yeah, I'll have to read them. Oh, there's a lizard outside. And then the second part of this question is, what is it like with so many kids?
Not enough. Not enough kids. Kids are a lot more fun than adults.
Yeah.
You get to do a lot more with them.
Is it easier or harder dealing with the adults versus kids?
Adults.
Are harder to deal with?
Yeah, harder to deal with adults. Because they always got an angle on something. Kids just want to go do and explore.
Yeah. There was a thought related to, I see this sentiment, and I'm not sure how to articulate the right way to rebuttal it, of, someone talks about, I want to have kids because I want to have, like, people around me, or like family, or I don't know. It seems like some people view the people wanting to have kids and build a family as like, why are you having kids just to like not be lonely? Can't you just go get friends? Like,
that's weird.
Yeah, like it's like, how do you explain to someone that just totally doesn't get it the benefit of having kids? Like, I mean, one, they're like, oh, you just have kids so you're not lonely, or to take care of you when you're old.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you'd have to look at their experience of growing up around kids in their childhood.
Yeah.
To, that's just a warped and twisted view of just kids and family.
DV8 thinks it's harder to deal with kids than adults. Or definitely harder to deal with adults. Never mind, I can't read.
Yeah, that's true.
Kids are straightforward, I guess, in some ways. Not straightforward in other ways.
Yeah. Yeah, USS Liberty incident. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Bringing a new life into this world is a lot more meaningful than just having someone around. And I mean, it's like...
Yeah, DV8's got it right.
In the South, we just tell people, like, bless your heart. Bless your heart. Let's see, what was my other train of thought? I think it's worth trying to build a family, even if, like, I guess the people that have a negative view have a negative experience of, like, not having a good family relationship with, like, parents or siblings. Or there's, like, a lot of people want to have more kids so that, you know, their existing kids have siblings and, you know, people to rely on, though you can't guarantee that that relationship will endure. But I guess, I don't know, I don't know if I'd call that a risk, but it happens, but you can also do a lot to, you know, set them up for success.
Yeah.
I mean, you raise the kids right, and they won't leave you alone.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You see that?
What?
There's a big old hawk.
Ooh, I saw Blue Jay.
Big old hawk just swooped down in the backyard.
Nice. Yeah, we all just still hang out at the farm and bug you guys.
Okay.
I was joking to Rocky, because I think there's a lot of young adults that have a lot of loneliness because they're not able to find community, or they move away from family or don't have good family, and there's not as many, everything is online and it's hard to find places to actually go and meet up with people. There's not as many clubs or infrastructure for that nowadays, it seems.
Yeah.
So I was joking to Rocky, I was like, well, we're lucky because, you know, we have the siblings to hang out with. Or what I named him? Milk Dud. The one comment he made the other day where because Mom was saying how you know, we all went on a trip together except for you. You had to watch the farm.
Yeah.
But you know, all of us grown kids and our kids and stuff went on a trip. And you know, she was commenting as she's told that to people. People have been like, oh, I hope my grown kids want to come, you know, hang out and stuff. And Milk Dud was like, well, it's a combination of having a good family and not having any friends. That cracked me up because thinking, especially him, I'm like, yeah, he just goes to work and comes back to the farm.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly balance.
Yeah.
Like he says, you know, friends are great, and having a good social network is important, especially if one doesn't have a family or kids. You know, having a family and then having lots of kids, that's good. Mm-hmm. But that's not an excuse or a reason to isolate yourself from a larger, you know, social network and having friends. You bring that all in together. Mm-hmm. The good thing about kids, though, is you get to see them grow up and hopefully guide them and form them correctly so they can grow up and have a fruitful and abundant life as they build their own families. You know, that's the cool part about, you know, having the kids, is getting to see them go off and then build their own lives. Yeah. And then, you know, the grandkids is the best part. Yeah.
I think someone else had mentioned that. Yeah, I was going to say that because I've got like the tiniest little snapshot of what it's like having kids so far in these early years, but you've seen the whole arc of it.
Yeah, so far. Yeah. There's more to come, I hope.
Yeah. While we were on the, you know, hiking on the trail, because we went on a hike, though I left early to come stream, everyone else is still hiking. Of course, Mom's there toting whichever kid wants to jump on her and this and that. And there's a lot of people want to wait to have kids later, and sometimes circumstances, you know, dictate that they don't really have a chance to settle down with kids till later. But I think it's a flex that I I got lucky to start having kids young, because then that's just more time and energy I have with them and my grandkids, hopefully someday.
Yeah, breed young, it's important.
Yeah. Like, instead of going to college or spending all my energy in my 20s staying up late to study or party, use it on the babies.
That's right. Breed when you're young and strong and you got the energy.
Yeah. And then you kind of get enough going, so by the time, you know, you're a little bit older and still want to have them, you've got some other kids that can take care of house chores and other things.
Yeah. You got
get a little system going.
free farm labor.
Yeah. Well, you waited till the first 3 of us were big enough to do farm chores, and then you guys got the farm.
Well, the farm was a curve that your mom threw us.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we're going to completely change direction.
I'm gonna get a farm. She wanted horses. Horse girl power. She wanted horses, so she bought a chicken farm.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking forward to doing that myself someday. It's definitely a joy. Let's see. But yeah, the best parts of kids are the grandkids. That's what people say. It's definitely a lot of fun. The best part, I love the videos where it's like #1 tool, useful tool in motherhood, grandma.
Yeah, you got a good grandma.
Yeah. It's definitely, there's a lot of people that don't either are far away or don't have, you know, a reliable, you know, extended family to trust. But it's definitely a huge help, because I feel like the way things are set up now for trying to raise family is like the hardest way to try and raise a family, because it's only, most of the time it's only kind of isolated to mom and dad and the kids. And then I guess nowadays a lot of people struggle to even have one parent be able to stay home. So it's just...
Yeah. It's the destruction of the family, taking it apart, and it's nothing new. It started a long time ago. And you know, mom's never had to work outside the home, but she's always done something to, you know, make up for my shortfalls, you know, financially, especially in the early years when we were trying to get started. But there's a way to do it. But you just have to choose what's important and the other activities that you want to do. It can be done, and you choose. If you're able to choose, you know, you choose the better things that you can.
Yeah, I think there's another question related to this. Here we go. Let me pull it up real quick. Kind of related to how to try and find your path in life or build your future. When I became an adult and I looked back at where you and mom started and where you are now, I'm like, dang, that's kind of impressive where you guys started.
Well, you know, anytime you can go from 0 up to 1, that's gigantic.
Yeah. Because I can't quite remember. The first, after you guys got married, I forget what part of it was, like your family had some land and you guys bought like a small little, what was that? What was, I mean, just the progression from like each place working up.
Yeah, so we were living in my mom and dad's house, and we got married, and they made us buy a travel trailer that they had out back. They wouldn't let us live in the house anymore, so they made us buy that.
Oh, wow.
And we lived in the backyard, and until we ended up buying a mobile home.
How much was the little travel trailer?
It was a ripoff, is what it was. We spent more than the thing was worth on it.
Yeah.
You know, that's good parents helping you out.
That's the complete opposite of how you guys have handled us, man.
Yeah. For a reason.
See, mom had kids so that she had people that she could put on the loan so she could finance more places and slowly buy up a road. We're all just pawns in her game. Acquiring property. But she's good at it. No, she's good at that kind of stuff.
Well, I think really, if she had worked outside the home, she would have been great in large corporate acquisitions. Because man, she'll see something and like, oh yeah, I'm getting that.
She'll happen.
Yeah.
She'll find a way.
Yeah.
Let's see. I feel like my parents would move to me if I had kids. I think that happens for most.
Well, there's
most
some
families.
there's some people that I know, well, several here in the last few years, that new people that we've met, and they have moved to the area because their children work in the area, so they could be close to their grandkids.
Because I mean, really, like you'll probably get into it with this next question. It's like, what is it that you want to spend your life on? For a lot of people, they want to be able to spend their life, close to their family, especially supporting their kids and their grandkids. Oh, so yeah, what other comments? If only society didn't brainwash us into believing that college was the path to heaven.
Well, that's 100% crap. Yeah.
Yeah, it's... The worst part is pushing you do all these years of high school and go immediately into something without actually having a chance to figure out what am I going to do and what exact path is going to get me to that thing.
Well, one of the reasons they do that is because they need to keep you within the educational industrial complex to keep the money flowing into their pockets. They really don't care about the education of anyone.
Yeah, I just got to keep the machine running. That's why I feel lucky to be in a position where I could support a stay-at-home mother. I just need to find a woman I trust enough with those kids.
Yeah, if you find a source for that, let me know, because I've got some boys that need one as well.
Yeah. It's like, how do we find the people and connect them? It's tough out there. I don't know. I'm lucky I pretty much skipped that. I was like, I don't want to date. I just need a husband. Yeah. Then I found Milliardo. I was like, sweet, I'm set.
Yeah. So I was lucky with you and your brother. Now I've got 3 other boys to hopefully luck out with that sort of thing.
Yeah. And at this point, all my friends are moms, so I don't really have connections anymore.
Yeah. That's kind of the same way as with your brother's wife.
Yeah. So yeah, college is BS. I've got an AS and BA in poli-science and using neither of them for my IT job. And a lot of people, I've heard of people with the job market, especially with however jobs are being interviewed or applications, and it's probably a lot of it handed to systems, searching keywords, whatever different things, making it really hard to actually get an interview. And then some people have found they had to take things off their resume that overqualified them to actually get an interview. They had to take things off. So I don't know. I have no idea what the job market's like, but it doesn't sound pretty right now. I'll keep that in mind, Popsicle. There is only one woman I see as a potential for that because I trust her completely and I want to get to know her better before taking things further. Best of luck. Best of luck. I don't know if you listened to it. We did Milliardo and I did a dating advice stream, I think twice now. At least once. Yeah. Once or twice.
And you having never dated? Okay, that's good.
Hey, well, okay, relationship advice. Okay, I'm not as good at I'm not as good at the I don't know. I think Milliardo had some decent tips for trying to track someone down. I don't know, it's a rough world out there. There's people that would probably be happy if you can find them. I don't know. It also reminds me of something Milliardo said where you gotta find someone that you want to have babies with, and most importantly, find someone that you want to raise the babies with. So you're definitely right on that. Like, gotta have trust in each other. Otherwise, you're not gonna get very far.
Nope.
Let's see. Yeah, turning your resume in is hard. Thank you, Minna. It's nice to be able to feel this way again. Haven't been able to trust in like a decade. It's motivating. That's gotta be rough. I hope. I don't know. I haven't really had trust broken, so I'm not sure how to rebuild from that. Do you have any experience with that? Not really?
No, not in a... Well, I
mean,
met
outside...
your mom, she's still a teenager.
So, what does that have to do with anything?
She'd barely been alive a decade. Well, no, she is...
What are you talking about? What? We're just gonna hate you. You guys are what, 2 years apart, right?
Something like that, yeah. 2 or 3 years. 2.5. Yeah.
I have no idea what you were saying.
So, we've been together so long that I couldn't remember, having to rebuild from a trust. And being at that young age, I probably didn't get deep enough into a relationship that the trust was, that deep. that there would be anything I'd have to really rebuild from.
Yeah.
It was all still surface and superficial at that.
Yeah.
And, you know, that changed with Mom over the years, so that now there's a complete trust.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Cradle robbing the elementary school? No. You guys met in high school.
No, she was still in high school.
You were just graduated?
Yeah, I just graduated.
So as a kid, I always thought the way you guys met was really cool because you guys both worked at both delivered pizzas for the same company.
2 different stores.
Yeah, 2 different locations, and then there was a company-wide pool party that you guys met at. Yeah. So as a kid, I was like, "Oh man, pizza, a pool party, that's awesome!"
What better start to life? Pizza and pool party.
Yeah. It's a weird question. Any tips for being a better foster parent? I'm at a loss.
Ooh, no.
You don't have any experience with that?
Not with... The closest I could come is...
The strays that Mom brings in?
Yeah, the strays that Mom brings in. And, you know, helping out with that. I would... Just a relationship with something like that would be, you know, trust would be... If you can build up a good trust and pay close attention to them, you know, that's something that Minna's mom's super at with the kids, is she's able to focus on them and pay a depth of attention to the kids that they respond to in a very honest and open way. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's about, you know, the best I could give up on, you know, on an edge of a foster parent, because I've only been, you know, with the kids that I have.
Yeah.
But just normal relationships, you know, a parent-child relationship, it would be an honesty and a trust, and then the immense, you know, focused attention that Minna's mom is able to give to all the kids that come around her. Mm-hmm. And the kids respond to that deeply.
All kids love graham cracker. It's, you know, the parents will come around to collect their kids and they'll be like, nope, I want graham cracker. She's phrased it to me before of like, you parent the kid that's in front of you. Don't compare it to other kids. Don't compare the kid to, you know, how that kid was in the morning or the day before. You look at them in the moment and be like, what do they need from me in this moment? Do they need, you know, a little more of a push, a little more of a gentle side? Like, what do they need?
Yeah.
And I know you've said before, with us, you guys always took the approach of, we're our own little beings. We're our own human, we're our own people. Yeah. And so there's a certain, you know, the dignity of the human person is there.
You have to respect that.
Yeah, at the core, as you also teach and guide, but there's also that fundamental respect in a certain way.
Yeah.
Which then, I mean, I think probably all the siblings can agree, you know, helped us all have a good open, you know, communication, I think, was always pretty easy. Or, you know, we could always come, voice our opinions, voice our thoughts.
Yeah, it's always open for that.
Yeah. You know, whether or not they were, you know, you guys had to call after we voiced it, but we could voice them.
Yeah. There was, I mean, when I was growing up, you know, my dad was like, if he'd tell you to do something, if you asked the question, if you questioned why, you know, you'd get knocked in the head. It's like, don't ask why, just do what I tell you.
Yeah, you tell me some stories from your childhood, and I was horrified.
It's not horrible, but it was certainly not the best.
It's way different than how you guys raised us.
Yeah.
I doubt there's a kid who wouldn't like graham cracker. She's such a sweetheart and very smart. I struggle with how to properly describe Mom, because she is that, but she's also, I don't know how to describe her bluntness, her pointedness, her fiery Hispanic side.
Yeah, I mean, she won't pull any punches if that's what's necessary to.
She'll tell how it is.
You know, and I guess her main concern is showing love to the kid for their betterment, their good. So if they're doing something wrong to themselves or to others, she'll point it out in no uncertain terms.
Yeah.
And she doesn't necessarily have to be harsh, because she pays such focused attention to the children and they respond to that. When she, gets a little bit cross with them about, maybe they grabbed the toy and they shouldn't have, and she, just a couple of, gentlest reproving words, the kids respond with horror, like, oh my, oh, my world's falling apart because now, Graham Cracker's upset with me. So it's very unique to her that she's got this connection with the kids that way. And that's just, I think she's always been that way.
She's, it's funny because I think she mentioned in like middle school she was babysitting. In high school she was babysitting. When she had the oldest, she was also babysitting while, taking care of him. So she's never stopped having kids around her from the time I think she was in middle school.
Yeah, she babysat a lot, yeah.
And by the time her youngest was, a little bit older, a young kid, grandkids started coming around. And before then, she had extra kids. She just, there's always extra kids around. So it's like, she's starting to be like, maybe I'll finally do something else.
But kids are a lot more fun than adults.
At like the forest group, she would just hang out with the kids. She wouldn't go, she didn't really care to go socialize. She would just follow the little kids around.
Yeah.
I don't know how she has the energy. She has so much energy. I don't know how she does it. Just all day with the kids, riding them around on horses, come in, be monitoring. These kids are painting. These kids are building this. These, I'm keeping an eye on my youngest and kiddo as he goes around. But I'm just like, I rode the horse a little bit. I came inside. I'm like, I need a nap, and she's do. So I'm like, dang, how do I keep up with this woman? Oh, she's powerful. Let's see. But no, she can also just be really intense without even meaning to be.
Yeah.
She can just be really intense at times.
You guys have no idea.
I know. No, she's special. I don't know. I never can fully explain her like in words. But she's cool. I'm glad I get to stick around and bug her. It's that Latina spice. Yeah. She's half Colombian.
Yeah. Her mom's from Colombia.
All right, let's see. So this question, I don't think we actually got to it yet. Do you have any general life advice to young men trying to find their place in the world, or any tips/tricks to help us in the future? Well, you had mentioned like keeping the end in mind. Of like how you've explained to me before, like when you're kind of thinking like 5 years ahead and how to kind of build from that.
Making your way in the world, finding your vocation. What are you going to do? I mean, we all have to work. We need money to eat. But what are you working towards overall? If you keep that in mind, for your future, and what are you working toward? What is your end? That will help in making some of the decisions you're going to need to make.
Well, because like when you guys were first married, because like your goal, how long did it take you to become a mechanic?
Ooh, what, the level that I ended up at, or?
I remember you talking about, because you had several jobs you were working, because like I know Mom was working a bit, and then after she had Vinny, then she was like, all right,
yeah, she says, I'm done.
I'm done working.
No, I guess at one point I'd done several different kind of jobs.
And you did pool stuff, you did
pool, was a cook, washed houses, built a house.
Just lots of any jobs you could get to.
Yeah, and then I settled on that. I really liked being a mechanic. I worked industrial maintenance at a steel fabricator, and then I'd started doing some mechanic work. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. I think I'll do that. I said, but if I'm gonna make this serious, I'm gonna have to go to school. So just went to a little VOTEC and a diesel class, and then worked jobs related to that until I ended up, working in for a major construction equipment manufacturer as a technician. Years and years later.
How long did it go from, or like at what point? I remember you saying there's like service truck, and you're like, I'm gonna have one of those someday, and the guys laughed at you. The guys laughed at me, yeah. So it was. That was actually before I went to school. I decided that I wanted to be a mechanic, and I was working, as kind of I was doing mechanical work, but I wasn't a mechanic, so I was doing maintenance, oil changes, parts replacement, that sort of stuff. And the company I was working for, one of the other mechanics, we seen a field service truck go by for one of the big manufacturers, and I go, my goal was I want to be a technician in that truck, where you go out on site, and it's you do it. And the guy standing next to me, he laughed. He says, "You'll never be able to be that good to." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I guess from that point, so that had to have been in the early 90s. And by 2006, 2007, I had 11 or 12 of those trucks working for me. So I was field service supervisor, and I had I directed 11 of those trucks. I mean, it's a number of years. And before that, I had already gotten into a truck. I'd got one of those trucks probably in late 90s. 96, 97. So probably 3 years after the guy laughed at me about it. Yeah. I'd got to that point, and then 10 years later, I was supervising 11 of those trucks. Oh man, I should have had you get that picture to tell about how when you got that engine out. Oh. Yeah. Well, and because that was a really big truck you had. Yeah. When did you were like, you did the Top Tech competition? Yeah. I remember. Yeah. That was a few years back.
Yeah, I think I'd done 3 of those. The last one I'd done, so I'd done pretty good in the last one. I'd done okay in the others, but I guess about the best I was going to do in the last one.
Yeah. Do you remember like what you placed in it?
It started with about 450 people in the competition. And then the finals, where there's only 9 people. And so I got to finals, so there's 9 of us, and they only give out the first 3 places, and you don't know what's underneath that. They don't release the scores underneath that. So I was probably number 9.
I don't have the visual, but the story about the engine was really funny. You should tell that.
Yeah. Let's see. How should I frame that? So
you can talk as you normally talk, like when you told it to me before. Oh, okay. I don't cuss, but you can cuss if you want. It's funny. So
there's a granite mine, so an open pit mine, and it's large equipment that goes down there. Think of the big Tonka trucks that we had as kids, so those sort of trucks. And this is a machine that loads those trucks. It's a big giant wheel loader, and we had just sold it to them, and I was on my way. I just left for one job in that area, and I was headed back towards the shop, and I got a call that machine had a problem. And so they've only had this machine a week. We have just finished putting it together and putting it into service, because we had to finish assembling it on site. It's big.
You said the wheels are
they're
probably like a foot or 2 taller than you?
The wheels are probably about 10 feet tall. And so I dropped off there and looked at it, and the engine had failed in a big way. And so it was on a Thursday afternoon, and by the time I think Friday I had to go out and see how much damage had been done to the engine. So me and another technician went out there and dropped the oil pan, looked up inside and said, oh yeah, this is really bad. And so the machine is a week old. They bought it brand new. It's a week old. And things went back and forth about, what's the best way to serve a customer and get this thing, fixed up. And
because it was a manufacturing, when they built the engine.
Yeah, it was a warrantable issue. So there's something wrong when they built it that failed and it blew up the engine. So it's nothing the customer done. It's 100% warranty. And so things started going back and forth. Well, I worked at a small store. We didn't have a whole lot of resources. And then there's a major city nearby that, they go, oh, we need to come do it. You guys can't handle it. You wouldn't be able to do it. So we'll pull a crew from, one of our other sites. We'll send, 3 or 4 guys up there. We'll rent a crane and, they'll pull it out. They'll have it out by Sunday and then we can get some stuff done. And my direct boss, wasn't available. So there was someone sitting in for him. And I said, man, we can do this. They go, no. They said, my truck wasn't big enough. I had a large truck. They said, my truck wasn't big enough. I'm like, yeah. I said, I looked at it already. I can do it. And so I go, okay. He says, really, you can do that? And I said, oh, yeah. I go, are you sure? He asked, are you sure? And I said, absolutely. We got it, man. He said, give me this guy and this guy, and we'll have it out. And he goes, okay. And so the engine just bare, by itself was a little over 8,000 pounds, just the engine. It's a V12, a big V12, 27 liters. And so we went, we started taking sheet metal off Friday afternoon. Early Saturday morning, we got to the site about 6 a.m. Saturday morning. And one guy, we picked what part of the machine we wanted. You work in the front, you work in the back, and you work in the top. And at 1:30 Saturday afternoon, we set it on the ground. And I told one of the guys working, I said, take a picture and send it to the guy at the major city that said we couldn't do it. I said, I'm sending him a fuck you card because we did it and we set the engine on the ground by 1:30 Saturday without having to rent a crane.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Get some. Yeah, you've done a lot of things in the field. A lot of landfills.
Yeah, landfills, mines, power generation, major highways. Where it's wherever the machines were that I had to go work. All kind of different scenarios. No one ever called me out to see how good a machine worked. It was always how bad they were working. Yeah. Nothing ever positive.
Nah, you're just the one to go fix it. So I guess, kind of going back to the question, for you, it's like you tried different avenues, found something like, hey, I can do something with this, and worked up through it.
Yeah. And then, shoot high. I mean, if you want to be good at it, be good at it. Strive for it. And at some point, you got to work hard at the beginning to get up, get your foothold, to get a little bit of stability. Then you have to look back, and if you've got a family, then you need to balance that in with what's most important.
You talk a lot about that. You've always drilled it in, like, time you don't get back.
Yeah. I mean, you can always go make more money. If you're lacking a little bit of money. I
mean, there's been, with the course of the farm, there's been times that you left being a mechanic and just had the farm, and then, went back to being a mechanic, came back to the farm.
Yeah. Depending on the economy, I have to go back. But you can always do something to make more money. So, but you can never make more time. So that's the thing, and you don't know how much you have in the bank.
Yeah.
So you have to spend that very carefully, very, very, with serious intent. So there's a level of maturity that you've got to develop to watch what you're doing, what you're spending your time on, because that's the most precious thing you've got. And in dealing with other people, how you spend that time, what you do with that time is, you get older, it gets critically important. When you're young, you got plenty of time.
I feel like the older I get, the faster time goes.
Oh yeah, it does. It does.
I need to get better about my time. It's hard when everything kind of muddles together, especially with the kids. I can't really block off my time easily, so it's hard to manage. How do I rest and have some time where I'm just chilling, but then also do things that I want to be able to do? As a maintenance tech in steel mines, I feel like I know you. The engineers look and scratch their heads, and the maintenance guys fix it in front of them in real time.
Oh yeah, exactly. Some of the machines I worked on, there's a steel mill not far from us, and we had worked on plot carriers, and the loaders got the steel mill arrangement. Oh man, what a nightmare those things are.
Yeah. Very wise words, Popsicle. I've gotten much better use out of my time by spending it with those I care for and give me the same care in return. Good friends can be hard to come by. Yeah, like you're saying, I mean, we joke about, we've got all the family, which is really big, in a sense of like, we're really lucky to have everyone close by and be close with everyone, but you don't want to isolate yourself at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see, what other questions? I know there's more. We'll go down a little bit. We'll do this one next. Put it over here. And also, like, the mechanic stuff's a skill. Like, having a good skill that can transfer and go a lot of places is really good.
Yeah.
All right. I think I missed that part. Here we go. Next question is, how many woodchucks could you chuck if they were caught chewing on a wooden deck?
They're caught chewing on my wooden deck. I couldn't chuck any of them because I'd squish all of them. I'd have to pour them out somewhere.
Huh?
All of them.
The woodchucks?
Yes.
Why would they be in a liquid state?
Because I would squish them.
Oh, okay.
They're chewing on my wooden deck?
Squish.
Oh, yeah.
Pour them out. Sounds like a liquid chick.
Oh, yeah. Think of like vines. I mean, grapes making wine. It'd be like woodchuck wine.
Ugh. Sounds gross.
And it'd be all of them.
We had carpenter bees a lot at the last place we lived. Oh my goodness. It's Rocky. He just threw his motorcycle gloves at the window. I wonder if he'll come up here. That was what I was saying. I knew I heard an engine.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. All right, let me pull this question up. There's OBS. It says, "Hey Papa Vanilla, my fiance and I are going to be married soon, and we're looking forward to start having kids soon after. My question is, what's a piece of advice you could give for a soon-to-be husband and also soon-to-be husband and also soon-to-be father?"
Get your rest now. Pay careful attention because
there's Rocky. We're live.
You're fixing to take responsibility for at least one other life, and if you're blessed, several more lives that you are accountable for, that you've been entrusted with. So think carefully on that, and act accordingly, because you're being entrusted with their life and health and everything in front of them.
That's like certain people get mad at like, oh, what are you guys doing?
Where's the soju at? Something good.
Got water downstairs.
Huh?
That's about it.
You got what?
Water.
You're no good.
You want me to go on, bro?
You need some beer and Cheetos?
No.
That's what you always said.
Yeah.
You always joked, I need my beer and Cheetos, even though you barely drink. We'll get on that topic next.
It'll take you too long to go get a soju. It'll take too long to go get a soju. Yeah.
You want to say hi?
What does she got in her kitchen on the upstairs? Go look see what she's got.
Okay, let's see. certain people get mad about the traditional like father handing over the bride to the groom because they're like, oh, they're treating her like property. What I see it as, dad's handing, I've been responsible, I've been, providing, protecting her. Now it's, I'm handing that responsibility to you. What do you think of that?
I'm not gonna be able to give your sister away.
You barely get.
Yeah, I was barely able to get rid of you. I mean, give you away.
Yeah.
It was.
You walk me down the aisle, ready to hand me over.
Yeah.
Just about bolted.
I was like, ugh.
It's the nastiest spirits of vodka I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm a phone call away from being a mechanic if I wanted to. You can make good money at it, but it's not an easy thing.
You've got some stories of some nasty stuff you've had to be in and do, working on stuff.
Well, it depends on what kind of mechanic you're going to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Construction equipment and what I was doing, it's a wide array of insane stuff, always outside. And but if you're a technician, automotive technician, or you're within a fleet application, it wouldn't be nasty the way I would.
Yeah, you have some stories. Let's see. Beer and Cheetos is a good combo, even if it's best consumed in moderation. I agree with your perspective, Minna. It's trust, respect, and responsibility thing. Father of the bride, she's your problem now. I'll never forget. We had traveled up to the location where the wedding was to do some wedding planning, and on our drive back, my back had really hurt, and I was like, we'd stopped for food at like a Chinese takeout place or something, and I was laying on the bench outside. And Mom comes out and she looks at me and she says, oh, what did she say? She said, we used to worry about finding someone for you. And I'm like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
Now looking back, I kind of get it. I think I've mellowed a little bit. But not so much mellowed as my energy is being used up by kids. I'm sure my true nature will come out more as the kids get older. But I was like, what?
Yeah, you can be hard to be around sometimes.
Come on, man. Milliardo doing us a service.
Making my life easier.
Except I'm still around. I'm still here to bug you. Alright, let's see. Any other... I think my favorite piece of marriage advice was what you told me right before I got married, which was, if I remember the phrasing, never do anything out of spite towards your spouse, and never assume your spouse is hurt you out of spite.
Yeah. I mean, give them the benefit of the doubt, and you cannot unsay something.
Yeah. Right?
You can say you're sorry. If you say something, rough or hard to your spouse, and, even if it's, justified, so to speak, don't. Because you can ask for forgiveness for it. You can say you're sorry and apologize, but you cannot unsay it. It's best not to say it in the first place.
If you don't have something nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
And usually things like that are said, in the heat of an emotion or something like that. Break off of it, calm down, and and then come back in a little bit and address it, nicely. If it's a correction that needs to be corrected, it's better not corrected in the heat of the moment. So be careful what you say, because you cannot unsay it.
And it's always you both against the problem.
Yeah,
it's not at each other. And I know a lot of people will use focus on saying I statements, so they keep it from being like an accusation. Be like, hey, you did this and I felt this way, instead of being like, why did you do this to me? Kind of.
Well, when you get married, there's no longer an I.
Yes, but do you get what I'm saying though? Where it's being able to express what you felt or what your perspective was in a way that you guys can then address what happened there, instead of going back and forth at each other.
Undecided name, shout it outside, because you're going to be shouting that name for the next 20 some years. Yeah, make it something funny.
Yeah. Oh, some funny names. Any other fatherhood or husband advice?
I'm sure there's tons, but it's topical.
Yeah.
On names, a friend of mine, his aunt had named their first 4 boys Adolf, Rudolph, Get Off, and Stay Off.
What? That's not real. Also, my family, Popsicle and Vinny are the worst about trying to like tell you something with a straight face and see how far they can get before they just die laughing because they're just totally pulling your leg, but they'll just lead you on. Vinny was hilarious, especially with the younger boys. He would do that, and he'd be going and going, and then he would just die laughing. Let's see. Next question.
Yes, man.
Oh, I think another thing for like soon-to-be fathers, in the early days of postpartum, I would say like bond with your baby and like, you know, help out with the baby, but your main job is taking care of your wife, and especially in those early postpartum days.
Yeah, those early postpartum days would be a good time to have a business trip.
No. No. No, those early postpartum days, because it's like
Postpartum, that's when you need to separate. That means that's
No.
Latin for go on a business trip.
no, that is the worst idea to do.
Come on.
No, you should know. Because like they call it the 3rd trimester. So think about those 3 months postpartum as like the fourth trimester.
That's what to say.
No, 4th trimester.
How does that even work? Because trimester is 3, and you don't
3
have
months.
4th in there.
3 months. Anyway, I don't know. That's what people call
That'd be
it.
a dozen.
Okay, at least like the first month, especially like the States, like the US is really bad about just trying to push people right back in to,
We're an industrial
you know,
society and economy.
Yep.
That's what needs to happen. Women need to have babies. They need to have them quickly and efficiently so they can get ready for the next one. Okay? Breed young, breed often, breed fast.
but then they want to push the
okay?
women back into the workforce.
Well, exactly what needs to happen, because we need to keep those daycares up and running. You need to understand what's going on.
What's going on?
You need to keep the economy running, right? This whole United States is built upon breeding women out, keeping the babies rolling. So, next question.
How do we fix it?
What's to fix?
But women need to be with their babies.
No.
Yeah.
They need to be with their husbands to work on making the next baby. Don't
But
you
they need to
understand
take
what's
care of
going
the
on?
babies.
That's what we have social workers for.
No.
Daycare, social
No.
workers, elementary education.
No.
You know, that's for taking
You know
care of
you
kids.
don't agree with this because you homeschooled us. You see what I mean? Don't go on like that. No. I've heard in other countries they, of course it's, you know, I don't know how there's always a give and take to things, but they heard other countries, maybe Nordic countries or something, they have like whatever funds for women to have like be paid to be stay-at-home moms or have like a year or 2 off from work. We don't really have any maternity leave in the US, and daycares are crazy expensive. I don't know, there's a lot of things with that.
Well, if you're a stay-at-home mom, you need neither.
Money
So
or
the husband needs to man up and handle it.
that would be, I mean,
There it
that's
is.
the best way to do it. I
Okay?
guess a lot
So
of people,
do the best. Do the best.
I guess a lot of people are struggling where they're trying to do that and they're having a hard time because of things going kind of crazy the past few years.
Okay. When have things not gone crazy?
I mean, yeah, it's a little extra crazy, a little extra spicy.
Really?
That's what people say. That's what people say. Inflation's gone wee like a balloon. What was I gonna say? Stuff about kids and whatnot. Something else I was gonna say. Talking about kids or whatnot. Oh yeah, but the first, like, for me, the first month I don't do nothing. I sit in bed with baby. I might go sit in the living room, but my only job is sleeping and eating and making sure the baby's sleeping and eating. That's my only job. So that's when Milliardo's And well, and have mom come in the first like couple weeks. So that's also really, really helpful.
So we didn't have no kind of support like that.
Yeah, no.
I think the fourth one we had, we didn't even tell none of our families that the baby had been born for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just us. Me and her and you and your brothers.
Yeah.
It was, it was just, at that time, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? So it was just the 6 of us, when Milk Dud came along.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we didn't say nothing. And then when they finally found out, and they were all so pissed off. It was just like,
you protect your peace. Protect your peace. If you don't, if they're just going to cause trouble, don't tell them.
Exactly.
Protect your peace postpartum. So yeah,
Graham Cracker's like, no one's coming to see me. Okay.
Yeah. Struggling with that door. But yeah, that's the biggest thing to keep in mind is mom's job is her and baby. Your job's making sure mom's supported. That's my biggest tip for postpartum for dads. You know,
this is just water.
Correct.
Oh, there's soju.
Remember that Vine? Oh, can I have a sip of that water? It's not water. Oh, vodka, I like your style. It's vinegar. What? It's vinegar.
We saw that one.
I love Vine. Did you ever watch? You didn't see many of the Vines. I need to pull up when I do my well. Well, this is back, whatever. But I'll just show you some of the classic Vines. Anyway, on to the next question. What is the most trouble Minna has gotten in? Was there anything she thinks she got away with, but she did it?
The answer to the first question has been, I've been banned from revealing.
Oh, come on.
So, the most trouble, that one's been banned. And the next one down, I don't know.
There's only once I really got headstrong in a way that was like, mom had to come down on me on that one.
Yeah, and that's the one we don't, we can leave. We can leave alone. Other than that, I mean, it's little minor things.
I thought, as like a young kid, I thought
besides the time you jacked that car and, held up the liquor store.
What?
That took a lot of, a lot of dealing on the side to make that go away.
That never happened.
Yeah, well, see?
No! You guys see what I mean? They just make stuff up. You can't believe them. Though I did run the car into a dump truck. What? Yeah, yes.
Huh? You can't trust your father?
I can.
And what about running a car into a dump truck? I haven't heard that.
Yeah, you did.
When did you?
Because the car was sitting like dead for ages before it finally got taken away. It was my 18th birthday. You know that.
That's what you gave me for your birthday.
He's making things up again. I was trying. It was my week of my 18th birthday.
And you wreck a car I've kept in pristine condition for probably 12 years. I mean, this is my retirement car. I've never had to buy a car again.
Now, I wrecked that thing and see how many cars we have now.
And she wipes the front of it off with a dump truck.
I laugh at that story. And then one time, especially as a mom now, I think, and I'm like, oh, that must have been kind of rough on you guys. Because that was pretty, it could have gotten real bad, real fast. Because I could have gotten T-boned by a dump truck. And thankfully, he saw me and swerved enough to just shave the front of the van off.
He hadn't smoked that much meth that day.
No, so it was my fault. I pulled out in front of him because he had just turned. I was trying to cross like a 4-lane highway, turning left. Which you can do that in Japan, but not in America because the roads are different.
You never spent any time in Japan before then. You can't use that as an excuse.
I know. But anyway.
That doesn't make any sense.
That makes it worse, as the Topham hat says. That's what we'd put that, and you've caused confusion and delay. That makes it worse. I pulled out in front of a dump truck because I saw his turn signal on, not thinking about the fact that he had just made a turn and that it wouldn't make sense for him to pull in the parking lot I was pulling out of. And so I was looking and I saw the dump truck, and then I forgot about the dump truck. And I took my foot off the gas, or off the brake, and I just started to roll forward. And the guy in the truck, I guess, saw me and already had checked his mirrors before that and saw the lane was clear, so he swerved, and the cab missed me, and like the backside of the dump truck just I took my foot off the gas, and then I saw gray and stepped back on the gas, and then the front of the car was gone. And a friend of mom's was behind me in the parking lot. So I hung out with her. I didn't have a cell phone at that time, so I borrowed the friend's phone. And then the Bojangles was right next to us, and the guy from Bojangles came out and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I think so." And he's like, "Do you need anything?"
I could use a biscuit.
I could use a sweet tea. Ask for a sweet tea. I got a pretty sweet tea from Bojangles. After I took the front of the car off, I got a citation. I had like $200 from Grandpa. I also got a speech ticket that week too, I think. That one, he like said it was really high above the speed limit, but I was convinced because I just looked at my speedometer that it wasn't that. It was just slightly above the speed limit, and I managed to talk him down a little bit from whatever the points were. Anyway, so I had gotten like $200 for my birthday and immediately had to pay my traffic citations. I was like, well, welcome to adulthood. No, yeah, certain things I look back and I was like, oh, haha, that's funny. And then I think about it from the perspective of being a mom now. I'm like, oh, that was probably raised your blood pressure a little bit. I don't know. I thought I was pretty sneaky as like a small kid. I always thought I was getting away with stuff. Yeah. I was bad at lying for a bit, compulsively lying for when I was like a younger kid, or lying about cutting my hair.
Yeah.
That's why my hair's so long now. I cut it too much as a kid. Now I'll never cut it again. Except now it's so long that I sit on it. I can't wear it down anymore. Any other stories?
You drinking the milk, that was funny.
What was that?
So we were, in the kitchen, and Mom was
this story.
giving you milk.
I must have been like an older toddler, right?
Yeah. I don't know how old you were.
Like,
I mean, you should have been drinking out of a sippy cup still. But Mom gave you some milk in a cup, and she had the wrong top for the sippy cup. Mm-hmm. And she went to put it on and go, oh, it's the wrong one. And she set it on the table, and she went to get the other. And you go, no, I got this one. She says, no, that one doesn't fit. Here's the one that fits. And you insisted, no, this will work. See? And you go, I'll hold my hand on it so it won't spill. We're like, no. And so you went to take a drink. And of course, it just spilled all down your front, the milk, all down you and into the floor. And what was priceless was the look on your face when it didn't work and you looked over, that moment of shock of recognition that you're a complete idiot was beautiful. And then to your credit, you immediately put the cup down and says, I'll clean it up. And you start cleaning up the milk. So. I
think one of my favorite memories from, it was probably like 3 or 4 or something, was when I thought there was monsters under my bed. Mm-hmm. And in my memory, I can still kind of remember, like, I thought I imagined, like, a shadow or a hand under the bed. And so I don't know how long I talked about it. And then one day I was in the kitchen and you were going to go kill the monster. So you got a knife and got some ketchup and you went into my room and made like, like you were fighting the monster and squirted the ketchup on the knife and came back out.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah, that's like one of the core childhood memories. Went in and killed the monsters. Came back.
Just go in and take care of business, right?
Yeah. Like any father would.
Good thing they weren't woodchucks.
Yeah, they'd be liquid. You'd have to vacuum them up. U.S. Liberty Incident says, it's extra hard to find good employment these days. Let's see, what else? I'm thankful for my job, paternity leave, 4 weeks full pay every time. That's really good. Definitely.
Gotta have like 100 kids. That'd never work.
Just keep it rolling. Let's see, I feel like most families can't survive on a single income anymore. That's what Devot Roy says. Let's see, there's plenty of data that shows that handouts don't help anywhere in the world, but that doesn't mean social programs in general are bad. Anything to make sure parents can raise their kids. I think the biggest problem is it's not local. If you have a community helping each other, that's much different than, because any like large scale thing, it just becomes bureaucracy, and bureaucracy is just bureaucracy.
I mean, certainly there's a place for the social programs that we have. They're, they can be poorly administered. If they're administered locally, it's tailored more to the local community and it's more effective, which is good. That we certainly need to help each other and be able to help each other when it's necessary and when there's a need for it. But when that goes off into a whole side issue of what the government does with the welfare state and everything like that. There's a place for it, but it's not being. It's hurting people the way it's set up now, and that's not a good thing. And there's no incentive to correct it and make life better for everyone.
And what's that?
Anyway, next thing.
Yeah. But what's that phrase? Never assume malice where incompetence would suffice. And that's most when people are like, oh, the government, this and that.
They're not that smart.
The bureaucracy is the enemy. It's just, I think of vanity of vanities, all is vanity. And the thing that plays in my head is bureaucracy of bureaucracy, all is bureaucracy. It's just,
laziness is more at fault than maliciousness.
Yeah. All right. How do your dad support you on your VTubing career?
She has a husband. I don't have to support her anymore.
All I got to do is become rich and famous so I can support you in your old age.
That's right. And I've got my eye on a beach house currently.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, you watch my streams. That's support.
Yeah.
You come on my streams. There you go. I'm not sure how. I know lots of VTubers have had their moms on. I'm not sure how many VTubers have had their dads on.
Because they're still probably so far in debt from buying all the equipment for VTubing that they can't take time to get onto the show.
Maybe. There is. Well, I mean, there are ways to start with nothing. Like,
we did.
Well, yeah. Well, and I'm saying I did as a VTuber.
You had a husband.
I didn't spend Okay, so he did. Okay, he did buy.
Let's leave it
because
where
it was
it is.
on sale. He did buy the cool karaoke microphone because it was on sale, and he said it was a anniversary present.
Okay, so there it is.
Yeah, I have a husband. When we were vacationing, the other brothers are running around with the farm card.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I got this card. I got my husband's money.
They all still got dad's money.
Mom's money.
Yeah, it's her farm.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing.
Hang out.
You realize that, don't you?
Yeah.
I have nothing. None of the vehicles or anything is in my name. The farm's not in my name. All
what
I
about
have
the house?
is the
Aren't you technically on the house?
Yeah, but the only reason is because I was the one making money, so I had to sign for the loan.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Next question. Let's see. I just started with the webcam I use for Zoom meetings and a cheap Corsair headset. Yeah, you can just be a little PNG, do a little doodle. But yeah, you can also spend a whole lot of money on VTubing. Let's see. Let me refresh to see if there's any more questions.
This would have been better with soju.
Well, next stream, because I want you to tell your drinking stories.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and we got to get into that. We'll do that at the end.
Well, I wasn't feeling good enough for that.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me get this one pulled up. Forget if I put the other question. Put it in my little question box. Hang on. What are you laughing at?
Jeremiah.
What's that? I'm seeing reaction. Oh my gosh, that's a great picture. All right, let's see. All right, so when did you know your wife was the right woman for you? I've recently found a woman I can actually trust and feel like I love her, but I'm afraid to tell her due to the walls she's built up.
When did I know my wife was the right woman for me before she was my wife.
Well, yeah.
Well, there's a certain risk you take.
Yeah.
It's probably about a year after we met, and she had to go back home for something, and then it gave me time to be away and reflect on some things. And I'm like, yeah, she can't be away. She's got to be with me all the time now.
That's right. Yeah, because you guys lived in one state. Your family moved. She
Yeah.
just graduated, so she moved down there too.
Yeah.
And then she went back home for a bit. And I'm pretty sure she said when you picked her up from the airport, you're just like, yeah, let's get married.
Yeah.
Did you do any like official like proposal moment or just that?
Now I don't know. I don't think there's any official, I'm going to propose. It's just like, hey, listen, I've got this. Now all I need is for you to marry me and it'll all be in good shape. She was kind of like, oh, okay.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, Mom's not very much of a sentimental person at all. In
certain respects,
yeah, in
she
certain
is.
respects.
But
She's
some of the flighty stuff that you would normally pin on a woman, nah, she ain't got that.
Yeah, I think there's probably me included. Women will tear up at like emotional moments or like big surprise or I don't know, different things. I think the only times I've really seen the main times I've seen Mom cry are after like we've had a couple dogs get hit by cars. It's usually after something like that.
Yeah.
That's the other way that's hard to describe her. She's very genuine and connected, but she isn't at all like emotional in a certain sense.
Well, she's got plenty of emotion.
I mean, she's got plenty of emotion, but like emotional in the.
I would say she's never hysterical.
Yeah. She's got strong emotions, but the way she like laser points her emotions, I guess, in a way.
Yeah. I mean, they're just not like all over the place willy nilly all the time.
Yeah.
She feels very deeply, but you don't necessarily see it coming out all the time.
Yeah. Let's see. IDK Popsicle, I wouldn't say you have nothing. You have a lovely family, a brilliant daughter, and awesome grandkids. That's worth more than any material wealth.
Yeah.
Now you can just cruise.
There's no cruising ever.
Let's see, base, no proposal, just saying, yeah, we're getting married. My dad didn't propose to my mom either. He just asked her how many kids she wanted to have. And she said they need to be married first. And he was just like, well, yeah, of course.
Oh, heck yeah.
So you do
yeah, she's reserved. Yeah, to a certain extent. As far as emotions, what Agent Warlock commented on.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, just be like, hey, look, I'm, here I am. I've got a home. I've got room for kids. Who's willing? Oh yeah, I know. I got lucky with that's what I'm glad Milliardo's older than me because he was set. He was ready.
Yeah.
I was reaching adulthood. And I'm like, man, I just want to have kids and write books. I just need someone. Actually,
I found 2 or 3 really good potential cougars for my boys, but they're not into that. I'm like, dude, come on. I mean, she has a career, she has a house, she wants you, so what's the downside?
You're making that up. Wait, that's the first I heard of it.
He's just blowing smoke again. That is unironically.
He stole all of one of his boys' Halloween candy.
Oh, when you quit smoking?
Mom gave me all the Halloween candy.
Oh yeah. That was like, how old was Vinny, the oldest? Because he was still
1 or 2.
Yeah, so he was just a little toddler. So it was probably only him. There was no other kids yet.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's just him.
Because you smoke. When did you start smoking?
I smoked in high school.
Yeah. Well, you told me about in Germany where there's a smoking room for students.
No, there's a smoking area for students. Yeah, you go to the student smoking area after lunch.
Gosh.
Go have a smoke.
Yeah, we'll have to do a different stream where you're telling all your crazy stories, especially being in Germany. I'm shooketh. Something else.
No idea.
I know. I don't. You had a totally different kind of life. It's crazy. But yeah, no, was it mom kind of like, all right, smoking's got to go? I mean, I'm sure part of it was you too.
Yeah, I mean, it's unhealthy and stuff like that, but there was never any pressure from mom as far as you need to quit smoking. It was just an understood thing that, you know, you smoke outside, you're not smoking in my house.
Yeah.
Right? So it was kind of a thing of, you know, that's unhealthy, but there's no nagging or anything where you need to quit. I knew I needed to. It was no good. And then I had not smoked that day, and I got home and I was grouchy. Oh, I was bad grouchy. And she said something, you know, because I was in school, and then I worked at night on garbage trucks. So I was, you know, going to school to be a mechanic, and I was working at night on garbage trucks right after school. And I got home, and it was around Halloween time, and I was grouchy because I hadn't smoked in a long time. Yeah. And she says, you know, it's kind of, you know, what's wrong with you? What are you so grouchy? I said, I haven't had a cigarette yet today. You know, I said, I'd been eating, you know, munching on Halloween candy, and it's like the next day, you know, she bought like a whole aisle of candy, a shopping cart, like.
There you go.
So I quit smoking then. I gained about 12 pounds strictly in sugar, but you know, it worked.
Now I wanted you to bring up drinking and your perspective or your experience having seen alcoholics in your family, or for those like if anyone feels like they've got a problem with alcohol or just the effects of alcohol, and how you told it to us as we grew up. Yeah. So in moderation, you know, alcohol's, you know, okay. It's the abuse that I seen in, you know, two family members when I was young, and then as they got older and talked to them, you know, I become a young adult and talking to them, you know, that really brought out I guess you almost say the kind of the sadness of what the alcohol will do to a person. And it's, you know, the one family member, the alcohol over the years, that, you know, these were men that would, you know, drink in the morning. I mean, it was just part of life. It wasn't that they were all drunk and slobbering around all the time, but they were never sober. You know, there were times when they would, you know, quit completely because they knew it was an issue, and they'd be dry for a small amount of time, and then they'd go on a binge and they were right back where they were. But the one, the alcohol had damaged his body so bad over the years that he needed an operation, and he couldn't get the operation because his liver was so compromised that he would not survive, you know, the painkillers after the operation. So it was an open heart surgery he had to have, and he couldn't have the operation because the operation would kill him. And so it ended up taking him about, you know, it took about 2 years for him to finally die of it. And it was a slow progression. And he had told me, in talking to him, you know, it's kind of close to him, and in talking to him, he says, of course, he's so sick he can't drink anymore, so he's completely sober. And he goes, I missed my entire family life. He says, I look back and everything is through a haze, and I never knew or completely connected and loved any of my children or my wife, because it's always through, you know, the haze or the gauze of alcohol affecting everything I see and hear and did. So not only was he not able to completely love his kids and connect with him and his wife, he couldn't receive it to the depth that they would want to give it to him. That is sad.
You know?
And because you were talking, like, when it's something like that where if it's that kind of deep enough of a problem that it just has to be never, because it's like one little slip and we'll get you right back.
Yeah, I mean the nature of the addiction to alcohol is different from other things, and it's a when you're seriously addicted, where it's it's a disease. From what I've understood, it affects the body to such an extent that if you get off of it, never, one tiny bit will just ramp it all the way back up to what it was. So it's 100%, no.
How do you how do you know if you're like that big of a problem, or if you're just a little like, this is kind of getting a little out of control, but I can still scale back most of the time?
I don't know. Because I drink occasionally, so, but with the family experience that I've had, I make sure the first thing is start to become a habit, and it sneaks up on you. So it's like I have a beer every day after work. Okay, I have 2 beers every day after work, and then so that addiction. The same with anything. It's a habit, but there's also a chemical drug aspect of it that gets into the body. So then the body goes, to feel normal, to feel okay, you must have this now. You must have this now. And so the habit forms, and it's encouraged by the chemical dependency of whatever your poison is, with nicotine, alcohol, or illicit drugs and stuff. And it just kind of goes and intertwines itself so deep that it begins. You may not see it until a friend of yours or a family member or someone at work says, "Hey, dude, it's 8 o'clock in the morning and you were drunk. You have a serious problem." Yeah,
I guess it's like, even if you feel like, oh, this is just a little bit of a problem, I guess it's better safe than sorry to like start like Alcoholics Anonymous or something.
Yeah, I mean, and each person I guess would be different, to where they would have to get intervention. If it's just a first thing, you go, oh, wait a minute, this is, if you recognize in yourself,
there's a pattern and you're able to stop it.
I need to have this drink, and you go, and you've just kind of dabbled in a little bit, there'd be a good time to go, you know what? No. And not, not touch anything. Yeah. For quite a while, and then maybe reassess, and then, But you're not going to die from not ever drinking.
Well, yeah.
So,
So I saw a comment. Let's see, I'm proud of you for quitting like that for your wife, Popsicle. I've been trying to get my folks to quit smoking for decades with no success. And Sketzel Lizard. I don't know how to say that. Oh man, helped clean up my uncle's place after he'd been evicted on several occasions. I remember the first time the floor was covered in empty beer cases and bottle caps. Yeah. I don't drink often these days. I used to be a bit of a booze hound. I was fat and miserable, lol. It just saps productivity and motivation too much for me to want to consume it with any regularity. Yeah, that's like absolutely. the only times that I'm like, oh, I'll have a drink is like in the evening or at kind of nighttime, a little while before bed. Yeah. But then it makes me sleepy. I'm like, no, this is my time. I can actually do something. I don't want to be sleepy. So yeah, I rarely drink. I would say if you get the gut feeling it's a problem, that's a good sign to cut back. Yeah, kind of like you were saying.
Yeah. If you get a twinge of, wait a minute.
If you notice pattern, Yeah. I need to finish reading over that habits book and do a little stream talking about, because he breaks it down into these sort of four steps of how habits form, whether consciously or unconsciously. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, you always drilled it in like, you'd always say like one's enough.
Yeah, one's enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you sit down, if you don't have a drink with dinner, that's fine, have one. You're gonna sit afterwards, you've been out working, everyone sit down and, shoot the shit a little bit or what have you, and everyone's gonna have a beer, okay, have one. You don't need 3 or 4 or 5, that's just no good.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been drunk and I'm I don't think I ever want to be. It sounds
No,
boring.
it's miserable.
Yeah. I like the taste. Milliardo's family, I feel like they introduced me to good booze. I never went through a bad booze phase because they all have good taste. His dad even makes beer now.
Oh, wow.
Or we'll get beer in from different places. So it's like once I was able to start drinking places, because I was 20 when I got married, so I couldn't even drink at my wedding. So once I could drink, then it's like, yes, now I've got a good selection. Have the good stuff. What's Popsicle's favorite handgun?
I don't know. My sons haven't let me fire theirs enough for me to pick a favorite.
Yeah. Those are the Rocky. You have like gunsmith stuff, don't you?
Yeah,
a little bit. Mm-hmm. Do you have any questions for Dad, Rocky? Do you have any questions?
Not at the moment.
No question.
Close enough. Whenever I do, I just go ahead.
You only come over to your house to sleep. Most evenings, you guys are just sitting on the porch. See, that's the great thing is like everyone's close by. Just come hang out after dinner on the back porch. It's a good time. So I'm glad I'm visiting. I'm like the only person that's far away. I'm just glad we have a family group chat now. Now we can
that's actually pretty cool. Really.
Yeah. Switched over from flip phones to smartphones, so now everyone has a family group chat. Rocky does gunsmithing and eats a bunch of meat for dinner. Minna, your family is so darn cool. There was someone in the Discord that was showing how he was just been broiling his steaks for dinner in the toaster oven. I'm like, that's what you do with your chicken quarters. Except you had a layer of grease. So thick that every time I was like, man, no wonder I'm smelling something every time I walk in the evening, because you have this layer of chicken grease that's just sitting in the bottom of the toaster oven.
I cleared it out recently. So
I know, but you had like a whole pan full. You had a whole pan full.
Where do you think chickens come from? You grow them out of their cooked grease.
No. The
and
vanilla
what are those
family.
little things crawling around in the grease then if they're not chickens?
I don't want to know. The vanilla family just makes me smile so much. The beer craft makes sense now. I guess that's true. The Milliardo beer craft is a Gundam character. Because it was Milliardo Starcraft or something? I don't know. It was another name and he just tweaked it to be a flavor. Oh gosh. There's a video. Okay, so Rocky just showed me a picture of someone that made broth and then strained it, but didn't realize you're supposed to put something under the strainer. And it reminds me of a video where someone set up their camera and they strained the broth, but they forgot to put something under it. So she dumps the broth straight into the sink and it catches her reaction as she realizes what she's just done.
That was one that you done, right?
I didn't do that. I haven't wasted my broth like that. The only time I waste broth is if I'm not paying close enough attention as I'm filling it through the strainer into the jars and it overflows a bit. All right, any last questions, guys? You could post them just in the chat if you want. I hear beer craft and think Minecraft with beer. Oh man, I love the beer song, the Lego beer song. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a good one. Lego beer song. Let's see, what other questions that I want to ask? But it's hard because like nowadays, people are trying, like, you guys, people in chat, try and find good wives. And then in some of the like Facebook groups I'm in, wives are asking for support or advice because their husbands are not being good husbands. And then a lot of times on YouTube, I'll see all these comments of all these guys talking about how their wife left and took everything. And I'm just like, man, this kind of sucks.
It's a fallen world.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been very, 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 very fortunate.
Same. I feel like I've won the lottery just having mine and Milliardo's families coming from happy, still intact marriages.
Yeah.
It's lucky. It's heartbreaking to see. It is, and it's just like, man, there's always this, and there's always, two perspectives. And it's just like, it sucks. I apologize if this has been asked and answered, but pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Oh yeah, yeah. In
Great.
fact, we just went somewhere first time me and Graham Cracker got away from everything in probably
Ever?
Gosh, it's probably been, wait a minute, if I calculate this right, about 23 years. The last time her and I went out.
What was the last time you went out?
Our 10-year anniversary. And there was a pizza. It was ham, pineapple, and honey at this little, pizza place that we went by. And it was surprisingly good. It did not taste the way it sounds. It was like, wow, I'm not sure if this is pizza or dessert, but it is damn good.
You know what they put on pizza in Japan? Corn. They put little, like from a can.
They're a third
corn.
world country, aren't they?
No, Japan?
They are now.
It's really interesting going to places that are like American food, quote unquote American food, that the Japanese try and remake. There are some places that, like, some Americans that have settled. That one place where he does all the bread's made in house and the pizza is sourdough. The poor guy's celiac. He found that out a couple of years into the business.
Ouch.
But they also source a lot of good food, and they have it's got bacon from like local places, and it's real good. It's really good. But yeah, so that's like the most like American style burger.
Spicy honey. Get. Oh, what's funny is me and the two youngest boys, we went on a hike. We got to spend a week in northern New Mexico up in the mountains, and one of the hikes we went on, they supplied us with some food. So we got to the top of one of the mountains we hiked to the top of. And we're sitting there having a snack, and you open it up, and it had sriracha peanut butter and crackers. Okay, and so this is all we have. And I look at it, and I went, oh crap! I need something to eat, and sriracha peanut butter. I was like, holy crap! But actually, that was damn it good. I was like, who'da thunk?
That's something.
Spicy peanut butter was good, and it was sriracha peanut butter.
Yeah. It's like when Americans try to replicate Japanese food. The sushi I buy at the gas station isn't authentic. No, not at all. The sushi there is nigiri. It's the rice with the fish over top. If there's a roll, it's like a simple little roll. Let's see. What was I gonna say? Have you two made sure to give each other a great big father-daughter hug?
No, we kind of stay away from that sort of stuff. That's just weird.
My family only hugs each other like if we've like been away and like someone comes back. Usually I'll like make my brothers give me a hug like if I've been gone from a trip and come back.
I hug mom.
Well, I hug mom as often as I can.
Yeah. When was the last time you hugged mom, Rocky?
Last spring. April. And then before that, the last time I hugged her was in 2018.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, when you got back from the playground?
Yeah.
See, what's funny is Milliardo's family, they have a habit of hugging each other each night before they go to bed.
Oh, that's just damn creepy.
No. I don't know. I guess the only thing with my family is I guess we are like we don't get very emotionally vulnerable in a mushy sense. I don't know. We all honest with each other and care about each other. There's a bond and care about each other. But I guess it comes across through sarcasm.
I guess.
I don't know.
Well, every time I hug your mom, there's like a baby that comes along shortly thereafter. So the hugging's been severely limited.
Oh no.
You weren't kidding when you said as often as you can.
I saw there was a funny video that was things that the girl was like, these are things that I believed as a kid, that whatever her perception, what she thought was happening in the world. And one was she thought that the amount of kids was the amount of the those are the only times the parents have done it. And so she always felt really embarrassed, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my parents have done it 5 times versus like 2 or 3 times. Oh man. I've seen some hilarious sassy comebacks that people use when you get unsolicited rude comments about the number of kids you have. And it'll be like, don't you know what a TV is? Well, yeah, but the TV's more interesting, you're doing it wrong. I've seen some great stuff. Or people, you either like do something really witty back or just ask an equally very uncomfortable question back at them.
I would get that question a good bit, and people find out, you got 6 kids? Do you know what causes that? And I said, well, hell yeah, but don't tell my wife.
Isn't it Mom the one that was like, I need more babies?
Yeah. We wanted 12, but...
Cheaper by the dozen?
Yeah.
Well, most of us had like a bit of a spacing. It'd be hard to do a whole bunch back to back.
I mean, it worked out great the way it did.
Yeah. You always take it one baby at a time. Unless you get triplets.
12, that's not that many. I mean, people are freaking out sometimes now when people have 3 kids. I got 6, and it's like 6 isn't quite enough.
I heard someone that had like a nickname, and the nickname was because like, oh my gosh, he has so many kids. And then I asked, how many kids does he have? And the answer was 3. And I'm like, 3? 3 is not what?
That's just barely getting started.
That's like basic. I don't know. 4, I guess 4 is like, okay, now you're at the beginning of having a slightly larger family.
3 is like a lot. Come on. 6 isn't quite enough, I mean, from this perspective now.
Yeah.
8 would have been pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, another great one is if someone's like, oh, you have too many kids, be like, all right, which one should I not have had? Yeah. Point which kid shouldn't be here right now? That's a way to put the uncomfortableness back on them.
I'm not uncomfortable with any of it.
Well, make it awkward, make them realize.
I give exactly 2 shits about what you think.
Oh, I've seen some really funny comebacks for those kinds of questions. It was crazy the one time I was 12 and watching the youngest brother, who was like 5. We're at a park, it's a nice little park, watching him for like an hour or so. And the one lady that was all up in, like, I didn't really understand it at first because she was asking me all these questions, like, how many siblings do you have? Do they all have the same dad? Which I didn't really understand at the time. Of course, now I understand. And I was just like, yeah.
We all have the same dad.
Yeah, we do.
12-year-old.
I know, yeah. I was like, and then Mom comes up after the lady had called the cops. And Mom comes up like, can my 12-year-old not babysit my 5-year-old at the park? And the cop's like, I don't got a problem with it. And the lady comes up all like, aren't you gonna arrest her?
Mama knock her shit out.
The youngest kid was like a little 1-year-old. Little sis was only like 1-year-old in the car. Mom and the cop were standing there, talking, and the cop realizes, okay, this isn't an issue. This is just a Karen, calling me and causing trouble. And then so they're, Mom's staying by the car, has the little 1-year-old buckled in the car, has the rest of us, and then the other lady comes up, aren't you gonna arrest her?
Mama's, I'm sure, just laughing at her. You're dumb, bitch.
I think we cleaned up the front porch a little bit, like just in case for welfare. I think around that time as a kid, I was like, man, if they ever tried to take me away, I'd just run away and come back home. It's not the. And then I'll have to have Mom tell the story of the second time she's had the police called on her because she was in the back of the van and some of the younger kids were up at the front of the van. She was changing another kid in the back.
That was just the other week.
Yeah, and there was someone from across the street that didn't see, there's like curtains or windows, couldn't see in the back of the van. They had the shades
down in the back of the
van. And so the lady called the cops and then came walking over, and the mom pokes her head out like, there's an adult here. Like, they're not just sitting in the car by themselves.
But that's cool. They hung out, and so the woman had to face the cop with, "I'm a dumb shit."
Didn't even come over first. I guess the lady was like, "Well, I didn't want to startle the kids." But yeah. Yeah, Karens are eternal. They just have a name now. Let's see. Does this convo count as
Number friending?
Yeah. Which, like, I guess that's more of a VTubing thing. There's another way to say that word too, where it's just like focusing on the numbers, grinding out numbers. I don't know. That's got more of a VTuber thing. Let's see. I'm of the blood where we're hugging is habitual.
No, it's more lamenting that I don't have enough.
Hugging?
No, lamenting kids. I don't have enough kids.
Yeah. Oh, I think they were talking about the hugging culture in different families.
No, I was talking about USS Liberty incident.
Oh, yeah. That's why you got to get grandkids. That's why you got to marry off the rest of the boys so you can get more grandkids.
I'm trying. I need to go on a couple of dates. I need to set up a couple of more.
I know. I was going to ask you the one girl. You need to go out with the one girl again.
Yeah.
What's the one girl?
Oh, the one.
You went on a dinner
west
date?
Of here or west of here?
Yeah.
West of here.
All right, let's see.
I'll go out with both of them again. Just get to know both of them more. But I'm more honestly more interested in the one to the west.
Yeah. And then there's one to the far west.
Is it the far east? I mean,
depends on which way you go. I mean, the first time it was to the far east. You know, this one's gonna be to the far west.
Let's see. Any other questions?
I'm taking your place or not, have we?
Yes, still kind of up in the air. Mom asked me about it again.
That's a whole different topic. I won't key chat into that. That's a whole nother pickle to uncan.
Pickles come in jars.
I said that on purpose.
Come in jars.
I know, I said that on purpose.
Good Lord. No, you didn't.
That makes up the metaphors. Because there's a can of worms or you're in a pickle, you just mix them up together.
Oh, no.
That's definitely what you were meaning to do.
It is!
Yeah. Oh, you don't want to open that sack of worms. What the hell?
Can bro share the girls with the rest of us?
I don't have girls, I have friends at this point.
Yeah.
If that.
Potentials.
And you don't want girls, you want women.
Yeah.
Girls are bad.
Gotta get women with big birthing kits.
Gotta get mature women that know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, that's why the one guy is like, I don't know, how do you go from like, I don't know, I guess there's a certain point in like, when you're evaluating someone and you're wanting to build a life and trust them. I guess, I don't know, how do you like decide like, okay, let me take the, like, is there a certain leap of faith of like, yes, I'm going to trust this person to build a life with?
Well, yeah, but everything has got to start, with those relationships. If you're going to have a good marriage, you first must have a good friendship, right? And that's a friendship understood in the Aristotelian understanding of relations. You got to have a good friendship. Then, out of a good, friendship, a good marriage can come out of that.
Communication is key.
Yeah,
you gotta be able to bring things up.
You've got to love the other person on, the level of, friendship, right? And then there'll be a closeness that develops, and then there is a point in there where you will have to take, you'll have to take a gigantic risk with yourself if you want to trust them and express that to them, right? And you're going to be vulnerable at that point. Nothing's guaranteed, So when I asked Mom, there was a lot of unknowns, and even once you make that, the trust continues to increase and build over the years. And it's not we're married now and it's immediate and automatic. No, it's still going to take time and grow. But even if that other person turns out, unfortunately, to be not trustworthy, right? You should always go in fully trusting, completely open to it. So what if you're made a fool of? This is me, thinking about it. If I didn't trust Mom, right, and I held some back, because I didn't have that trust in her, then I didn't love her deep enough. I wasn't, deep enough and open enough for that. And so then I'm stunted in that part of my life. But if I loved her fully, completely trusted her, and she betrayed me then, right? Someone would look at me, oh, you're a fool for trusting and, going that deep. And I'm going, now as I reflect on it, no, I went full out completely. I gave everything. Okay, I was slapped down, but I went full on. Mm-hmm. I didn't hold anything back. The other person held something back.
Yeah, and of course, once you get to that point, you kind of you discern as you make those steps towards that point. What was I going to say? Oh, could you elaborate a little bit about the definition of friendship and love? Because I think that's what a lot of people lack, is the true definitions of those things.
You can look at C.S. Lewis. He's got, the 4 loves, and then you can look at the different. We have one word for love. I think Greek's got like 4 or 5 words, or this or that. So you've got, a love overall is a love against love as opposed to attractiveness. Mm-hmm. You can be attracted to something or like something. That's not, a love in this sort of sense. Love is normally it's acting willing the good of the other. So something good for them. For their sake. Yeah, for their sake.
I think that's important to put on, because you're not doing it for them and then also getting something back. You do it completely. Real love is willing the good of the other for the other's sake.
So within marriage, that's where that really fits. Mm-hmm. The love relationship between parents and kids will take on that same flavor. Mm-hmm. And it's different levels, different depths of that love and your commitment within that. So, and there's varying friendships as well. Mm-hmm. But there's a certain amount of trust and honesty within a friendship. You'll have a business friendship. You have a friendship that's strictly in a club. So you're in a chess club or something. So you have a bunch of friends there. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that friendship is, within that arena. You'll have friendships at work, different things like that. But within those friendships, there's a common interest that you guys share that brings you together. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So like for Milliardo and I, there was a lot of common interests and common, values and worldview that bring us together in a friendship and then built into a relationship. Let's see. I agree. I want to share my life with this woman who has a good brain in her head, not a kid who doesn't know what she wants. And he also says, I feel that I want to take that risk. And hell, I've already told this woman I completely trust her despite us just being friends. I'm kind of worried I accidentally went further than just saying I love you. I also think the friend zone is talked about a lot. I know Milliardo and I have had conversations of women feel this. I don't know if it's a modern problem, but some women will feel deceived if it's someone that comes across just as a friend, but then their real intention is to try and build a relationship, but she was thinking it's just going to stay friends. And so then once that's kind of crossed, it's hard to come back, because now it's clear you guys are wanting different things from each other.
Yeah. Why would a woman ever think that a man only wants to be a friend? That's kind of dumb right out of the gate.
Yeah, actually, I've seen a couple of screenshots from Fallen Shadow on Twitter laying that out to another VTuber. Yeah, that was a whole lot of funny.
It's not that men are always ooh, I need to get that woman or something.
But if both of you are single, there's going to be some questions of maybe. I think.
Yeah, and if that's out front and honest, if women deal with it honestly, that at some point this could maybe develop into go beyond a friendship, of association or what have you, into maybe that deepen into a relationship that leads towards marriage. If she doesn't have any desire or anything like that, that needs to be stated at the outset.
Yeah, she needs to hold a certain boundary. She can be if she,
at the beginning.
Yeah, I think if she is say in a club or something, and there's guys, and she isn't interested in having the potential of it turning into a romantic interest, if she's not interested in getting to know them on a deeper level, I guess the smart thing would be to keep it at a more surface level acquaintance. Which like one time went on a road trip, Milliardo and I were having a conversation when it comes to, you know, opposite sex friends when you're married. And our kind of summary of that was you can be friendly with people and have a surface level friendship, but you never want to go, especially if like your friends, you know, if I'm friends with the guy that Milliardo isn't as close with versus like if I'm friends with one of his already friends, there's a certain boundary and like superficial surface level you keep it at because it's just not worth going any, you never want to like have any sort of emotional intimacy at all. It's got to say very, you know, it's just the boundary that makes the most sense to hold. But yeah, I think most women nowadays are like, oh, you can just be friends with guys. But I think there's got to be a way of being like, hey, I'm getting to know you, and like not right away like, oh, you know, I want to be in a relationship with you right away. But I think it should be.
It depends on where the friendship starts. If it's at work, then you're going to have that, you know, that limiting factor or that boundary that this isn't going to go, you know, become romantic. Within other, you know, social interactions, whatever arena that may be in, there can be a chance of that happening. And how a woman can deal with that and still have, you know, simple social interaction and friendships, acquaintances. Okay, you have very, very few friends. You have a lot of people you know and interact with on a friendly basis. But I got one friend, and that's your mom.
Yeah.
You know, there's, you know, quite a number of men that I deal with and know and talk to a good bit, but there's zero women. You know, I know like moms of other kids, you know, that come around and stuff like that. But it's a very limited, oh, hi, how you doing? Things doing good. You know, ask about kids, that sort of stuff. There's never any sort of, you know, her and mom can talk a good bit, but I have, you know, no interest. And I don't know, maybe that sounds kind of harsh. You know, I don't have a whole lot of interest in getting to know that person. You know, be friendly and cordial and stuff. But there's, like you said, there's going to be zero emotional
vulnerability,
you know, intertwining or interest in this person.
The funny thing is, this is Liberty Incident. The funny thing is that I expressly didn't want to feel affection like this at first, but it's like that desire to not become attracted was eroded away by all of the things I grew to love about her.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So I guess it's like, okay, now how does he
communicate that?
Yeah.
And
I think Milliardo.
I have no idea.
Listen to Milliardo's stream because I know he talked about in his earlier years where I guess in a way you just gotta. There's kind of a joke nowadays of like, you know, the worst she can say isn't no. Like it can be kind of brutal.
She can say yes.
Or I don't know. There's different jokes about like.
Only the day after you find out she's Karen.
Karen.
Yeah.
What?
You married a Karen.
Oh. Anyway, but it was in the stream Milliardo and I did. He talked about how there's a lot of times he kind of played it safe or kind of tiptoed around it or didn't like be as forward about, you know, his interest in certain people he met through his life. And then when I came along, he was at a point of like, you know what? I'm just gonna shoot my shot, and you know, if I scare her away, I scare her away. And there's a certain amount of detachment and confidence that work because women can smell desperation and they don't like it. But it's like confidence, but also interest. It works. So I don't know. He talked about it more in that stream. I forget if we've done one or two of those, but at least one relationship advice. I don't know. Yeah, that's the whole dating side of. I don't know. And most women appreciate someone that's forward, I think, or honest, I guess. I appreciate all the honesty, Pop, and yeah, I'll have to watch Milliardo's VOD. On the note of vulnerability, thanks for allowing me to be vulnerable here and providing lots of wisdom.
Okay.
Maybe another time. I wanted to ask you about men crying, maybe on another stream.
Men crying.
Yeah. Well, because there's the one thing that was, I think I talked to you about this before, where it was like.
So I cried a little bit when my mom died. when I found out when my mom died. A little bit.
There's a whole history back with that though.
But not much.
Yeah. Well, because I kept seeing like on like comments on different things of guys saying like as soon as they cried in front of their girlfriend, they lost all attraction to them and left them.
Oh hell yeah, they should.
But I don't get it. Like,
I mean, a man should not bawl like a little kid. Wait, what the hell is wrong with you?
Okay, then how do you properly process your emotions?
What? Emotions?
Yeah.
What are these emotions you
Come
speak
on.
of? There's a place for it, you know, and you know, you express your emotions in their right way. You're not gonna, you know, it depends on what they're crying about is more than anything else.
Yeah.
You know?
There was someone that like his grandpa died and he, you know, cried at his grandpa's funeral and then his girlfriend was like, I'm not attracted to you anymore.
And it depends on, you know, how he cried. If he's just, you know, out loud bawling and going on and on and on, it's like, dude, what the hell? You know?
Do you do that by yourself?
Yeah, that's something you would like. If it affects you that deeply, then yeah, you need to go off and do it. You're not going to stand in front of a bunch of people and get all like wet-faced and snotty in front of a bunch of, it's like, dude, come on.
People nowadays would say
you can be sad, you know, and shed a tear, you know, tears are going to well up. You can't necessarily control that. And so, you know, so you wipe those and it's like, okay, but you don't just start bawling, you know, all crazy and snotty and stuff. It's like,
people call that toxic masculinity, saying men can't cry.
I mean, they do cry, but you just need to do it properly.
Well, because I remember you've talked about like, especially if you're like the head of the family. I guess that's another question maybe for another stream of you talking about what it means to be the head of the family. But what was I gonna say? You're kind of like the shield. You gotta keep that front up and then go to a better spot to process things or something. Yeah.
I mean, you don't, it's bad to, you know, just stifle all your emotions and stuff, but there is a proper expression of emotions in depending on, you know, the situation and the things that are going on. So if you get angry about something, you know, you can show that you're angry and indignant, you know, at whatever situation it is. And it'd have to be a justified anger. But you don't go off into a rage. You know, there's a way you can express anger and people know that you're angry about, you know, whatever it is. But you don't fly off into a rage yelling and screaming and flinging shit.
I guess that would be kind of like
crying, you know, the emotion of sadness, right? Of being bereft of a loved one is the same way. You know, it's, you have to express it. If you don't, that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the wake, you know, you're not bellowing on and on and on. You know, you are going to shed a tear. I mean, if you have, you know, any sort of an attachment to the person that's passed away, any love for them, when at the funeral or something like that, the finality really begins to come home. Then yeah, you're going to get a little bit weepy. Okay. You know, I think it's more when you see, you know, just the crazy slobbering and bawling and uncontrolled quivering. It's just like, man, come on.
Yeah.
You know,
it would the proper virtue be like temperance in that situation where you're able to I don't know if temperance is the right one.
Well, I don't know. You know, you can really assign a, you know, necessarily virtue to regulating the emotions.
But I guess it shows you have like a strong will.
There are some that, you know, pair up with different emotions as far as their regulation. And part of it, I think, would be more prudence.
Okay, yeah.
You know, there's a time and place for things to be expressed.
Especially because I'm from the women's perspective, because I was thinking about this topic a whole bunch back a little while ago. I guess the biggest thing is most women are looking for their man, their husband, even just their boyfriend, to be a sort of rock against the world for them to feel supported on. And so if they feel like their rock is unstable, then they're not going to want to stay on the rock.
Well, yeah, because, you know, even though it's kind of, we've been talking about this at the men's group some, even though it's not really necessarily articulated or is the cool thing to say within modern circles and stuff. It's something that's in men and women. You know, spiritually, not only physically are we different, right? But our spiritual makeup is different. You know, I can look at your mom and know I've known her a long time, but she is different. You know, so that within marriage, you know, within a relationship between a man and a woman, especially fatherhood and you know, being a husband, at the men's group we talk about, there's kind of a, you know, an unspoken thing that is expected of men to establish a safe and secure, stable, you know, area of operation for the wife to be a mother.
Yeah.
You know, that's not taught anywhere. That's not anything. But women innately, you know, they're looking for that in the men. They don't know what they're looking for, but when they see that, you know, they go, "Ooh, that's what it is." Now, if they see the man completely break down and lose control of himself, you know, whether it's crying too much emotionally, or flying into a rage, or, you know, pick one of the other emotions, when they go to an extreme,
laziness,
that kind of, in a woman will, you know, should disqualify him from being able to establish and maintain a stable area or area of operations for her to live and flourish. That's not taught anywhere, but it's understood, I think, in an innate way within, you know, our spiritual makeup. You know, and, you know, men, I think, are more damaged by what's going on now because that's kind of in them, but they have no way to express it. And if they begin to express it, it's slapped down as something that's bad. And so, or
they're never taught, like, because a lot of people
they're
are
not mentored.
Yeah.
It's not mentored. It's not seen in popular, you know, society or culture now. And the proper expression of it, when you look at some of the old movies and things like that, are degraded and called stupid and no good. So what example do young men coming up have of being a good husband and father? All they have is broken and distorted images of fatherhood, and, you know, marriage has failed.
I think the biggest thing I see from just different stories I've heard from just people in groups or in different comment sections online is women feeling like they try so hard to, like, have their husbands engage in participating in, like, you know, providing and also in the home, so that they're not just feeling like they're spinning out and burning out and never getting any support.
Yeah.
I think
but they don't know how to do that because it's never been mentored, and it's definitely not taught.
What
is mentored to young men is, you know, and shown to them and pumped up is, it's all about me and I'm going to get what I want. That's absolutely wrong and backwards. You become a husband and father,
you're now a servant.
Yeah, your job is now to support your family, care for them, establish what needs to be established for their flourishing, so that they have an abundant, strong, love-filled life. You know, you really don't matter. You know, my fulfillment, what I want, that's bullshit. Your fulfillment and what you need to do is the flourishing of your family. Period. End of it. And if you're of a mindset that I need to go hang out with my buds on the weekend, it's like, why'd you get married? You know, I would turn down fishing trips and all kind of stuff at, you know, work. Hey, you know, we live close to the coast, and they're like, hey, we're all going deep sea fishing. We're going to go diving and this and that. You know, come on, spend a week with us. I'm like, dudes, you know, I spend 65 hours a week with you. I spend more time with you than I do with my family. Why would I give up this small window of time called a weekend to spend with you instead of with them? You know, I married her because I want to be with her all the time. You know, I wouldn't have married her if I only wanted to see her, you know, once in a while on the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, like Milliardo and I, the weekends we try and, like, tag team, you know, kind of work out between us, like, all right, I'm gonna do a little gaming I'm gonna wake up early and game with my friends, so by, you know, time you guys are up, then we can do this, and then, you know, I'll go do my little thing a little bit, just kind of tag team back and forth a little bit.
Well, that's a little bit different than,
I'm going to disappear.
I'm going off and I got to go hang with my buds. You know, if you get up early and do your activities, you know, I used to do that when I would, you know, ride a bicycle a lot.
Yeah.
I would get up and go ride for a couple hours. By the time I get back, you know, everyone's just barely getting out of bed. Okay?
Well, you're just waking up early too.
That didn't take away from time with them.
Yeah.
You know, there's a way to balance and, you know, do that.
Especially like the young years with kids, because young kids are very all-consuming. So sometimes you got to figure out how to get a breath between stuff. That's a good dad.
This is a balance, and it's not easy by no stretch of the imagination. It's work. Period. End of it.
Anything worth working for is going to be hard work.
Yeah.
And that's what I think, like, people don't understand, like, why have kids? It's so much work. Or if there's, you know...
Oh, shit. Mine is still out getting milk.
Oh, for the cigarettes and milk. You brought the milk to the house by giving the farm.
Mom wanted a cow, so she bought a chicken farm.
Here you go, honey. This is your new job.
Yeah, basically. So now I got 2. She says, I got another lined up.
Oh, man. What was I going to say? The other thing I wonder about, because, like, Mom, she's a very driven person. But pretty much her whole life has been raising kids and doing stuff with kids, like, all the time.
Oh, yeah, she lets me know.
What did she say? What?
There's at one point, she says, I don't know what conversation, you know, what led this to make this statement, but she says, you know, for almost the last 20 years, I've either been pregnant or nursing a kid. I was just like, ouch.
But she got to do it without having to worry about a job. So that's good. I don't know.
I mean, we're very fortunate.
Yeah.
You know, I got the kind of job I got, and
yeah, definitely.
She, you know, we lived frugally, and she was very good at looking at, you know, activities and things to do that were very low cost or free. You know, it just cost gas to get there. You know, so
she's with all the, you know, especially working. I mean, just working it from where you guys had that little travel trailer to now having
all that we have.
Yeah, a lot. It's impressive, and that's pretty much been Mom in a lot of ways. Of like, I mean, you guys work together, but yeah, she's so damn smart. I know she's got a good eye for.
You know, that helps in arguments in a marriage too, if your wife is smarter, because there's no shame in going, "You're right, hon," when she's right.
Honestly, like, it's better to be able to delegate tasks of like, hey, yeah, you got your head around this, I got my head around this, and not be either one person trying to take it all or both people trying to do both and bumping heads about it. Find your strengths and play into it.
She started paying bills very shortly after we got married. Because I was, you know, balancing the checkbook when you still had to flip the little things up and all that mess, and doing that. And we only had one bank account. We've always only had one bank account for the past 30 plus years. There's just been one.
Yeah. And
I'm, you know, working at paying the bills and, you know, do all that. She says, "You want me to do that?" And I go, "Oh, hell yeah, do it." You know, you're better at numbers than I am. And she's been doing it ever since. Yeah.
She's good at it. Let's see. Oh, I was going to say, so like, you know, she's a very, very smart, very driven person. You know, all my life I've seen her, I don't know, someone could look at her and be like, "Oh, you're just a mom." And I think that
you have no idea.
You don't understand my power level. I don't know. I think our society for sure has lost the respect for motherhood.
Oh yeah.
And I think that is a huge disadvantage, because then women feel like they need to be something more than a mother when...
That's the apex.
Yeah.
Motherhood is the apex.
Yeah. Like, there's lots of projects and things I'd like to work on and creative endeavors, and, you know, hopefully I can get some of the stories that I feel I'd like to get out eventually. But at the same time, it's like, if all I ever did was raise and love my kids and my family, then I did it. You know?
Yeah.
That's what's important.
I mean, it'd be funny if someone looked at Mom as like, "What did you accomplish?" And she could look at him and him and you and him and him and her, and all that you guys have accomplished and are going to accomplish.
What are you contributing to society?
And it's like,
everything. I'm contributing to society itself.
She would probably look at it and go, "Can you top that?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It'd be hard pressed.
Yeah. All right, I think
the concept is what kills me with the whole concept of women in the armed forces at all. They want to serve their country, okay, but what's a better way to serve your country? You plodding around with the injury rate significantly worse than that of a middle-aged man, or supplying 3 to 5 strong young men.
I didn't teach you that shit.
I figured it out on my own through experience. I've seen what I've seen. Yeah, which is a better path to serving your country? Malone back.
That's Rocky for you. Take from that what you will. I'll keep for the sake of my Twitter account, I'll keep my opinion to myself. But we've definitely, and it's a disadvantage to the women and the mothers because they feel like they're not good enough when they're doing, they're the backbone of the future generations. Obviously the fathers as well.
It damages both.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you've got something that's scattered and damaged, that's, constantly scurrying around just trying to survive, that's a lot easier to control. If they're distracted by a bunch of crap and they don't have a firm foundation on who they are and what their purpose is, that's a lot easier to manipulate and control and, dominate. Yeah.
Ooh, raid from Salty. Woohoo! Hello, Salty. Welcome in. We got raided. That means Salty sent his viewers over to my channel because he ended his stream. So now we have more people. Yay! Hello, everyone. This is my dad. This is Popsicle. He's been giving life advice. If you guys have any last-minute questions for him, ask now because then we need to wrap up. You can just drop them in the chat. So yeah. I hope you had a good stream, Salty. We need to go through soon. One of the cousins had a birthday party, and Kiddo was really sad because he wants a birthday party, and usually we're not around for his birthday, so Mom was like, all right, he's gonna get a birthday party today. So I think that's happening soon. Oh, it's Milliardo! Who is Popsicle's favorite son-in-law?
That's a hard one to figure out.
It's like when Vinny got married and your speech was like, what was it?
Oh, that was beautiful though. They got a picture of that moment. Did you see that picture?
Probably.
That is perfect. It'd have to be Milliardo.
Tell them what you did though.
Okay, so Vinny's wife has been friends with the family for a long time, right? And there's a certain candy that I like, and she gave me some for my birthday. Said, "Oh wow, you're my favorite daughter," right? And so that became kind of a running joke. Mm-hmm. And so at the speech at the wedding, I'm talking about this and that, and we're all lined up there, and I make the comment, now I can officially call you my favorite daughter, and my other daughters in the was the younger one. Yeah. So my other daughters were in the line on the little stage thing in front of everyone, and there was this weird collective gasp, right? And how can you say that? But it's part of the running joke because she gave me my favorite candy, So it's like now officially you're my favorite daughter. But here recently, and there's a picture of someone took a picture of that moment because Minna in that picture, as I said that, and Vinny's wife is laughing.
Probably have a shocked face.
She is leaned forward with a shocked look on her face towards that, and it is funny. But my birthday last year, she gave me a shirt, and it's I forget what it says, but instead of just I'm
father-in-law's favorite daughter.
I'm my daughter-in-law is my favorite child is the shirt she gave me. I said, wow, she really upped the ante on that. From daughter to child. It was great fun.
Out of all of them, she's... All right,
she has given me the most grandkids so far, so there is that, Minna.
It'll come around. It'll come around. My hand. These two boys are a handful, and you know it.
Milliardo needs to get to work.
He's. I won't say anything because nothing I say is gonna be good.
You know what you need to do, son. Good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything because they're gonna clip it.
So she does need to leave kiddo behind here in the next couple of weeks, then, doesn't she?
Come on, man. Yeah. Well, you guys, oh, goodness, you guys, I got married in the fall. Well, beginning of November.
You got married on my brother's birthday.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
It was also the anniversary of the first Godzilla movie.
And it's also the anniversary when I quit smoking.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes
That's
sense.
an important date.
Anyway, it's a good date. But got married a little bit before Thanksgiving, like 3 weeks or so before Thanksgiving. These guys kept saying I was gonna be pregnant by Thanksgiving, giving me a hard time. It's like, come on, man. I wasn't pregnant by Thanksgiving, so I showed you.
Yeah.
But it was only like 8 months later. I'm like, you know what? Hey, honey. The rest is history. Chat doesn't want to hear about that, though. This is a wholesome, I'm a say-so wholesome streamer.
Okay.
But I also have kids, so.
That's all the things finds in there.
Kids are wholesome.
Yeah. Well, the I don't know if this was an analogy I picked up somewhere or came up with myself, but I always thought of the marital act as a fire. It's great when it's in a hearth. It's not so great when it's outside the hearth and burning down the house.
It's always burning down the house. You guys have no idea.
I don't want to know. Certain things that a daughter shouldn't know.
Yeah, I am astounded none of us walked in on you, Dad.
All right, well, that's the stream.
Unprofessional.
What's funny is when people are like, oh, your kids co-sleep, how are you ever going to have more kids, or yada yada. It's like, if the bedroom's the only place, you're boring. All right, well, it's only going to get worse from here, so we better wrap up. All right, hi, Milliardo. Hope you're doing well. Oh, man. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this chat with Dad. Minna, I wish you were by Big Toe right. My Big Toe right now? What?
Oh.
What?
Oh.
What does it mean? I'm not. I think I know what you mean, but I don't get it. Okay, I'll have to call Milliardo to get him to explain this to me. Goodness gracious, this is gonna. Okay, let's find a raid. Let's find another raid. You guys, any say so closing comments?
Nah. Hang out for the drunken stream here in a few days.
Yeah, you got some crazy stories.
The whole clan.
No, I was just gonna have Dad back on to tell all his drinking stories in Germany when he was a high schooler. Got to do a different one with all the siblings at some point. It'd be fun. Get everyone together.
This is my damn house.
Let's see. You're still alive. Okay, let's see. Oh, Necro, Nyana. Let's see. Who should we raid? There's a bunch of people. Oh, Gavis.
Ooh, did she do her donathon or what have you?
Yeah, she is trying to.
She'll come into there.
Let's see. Oh, Dr. Lolime. Probably. Brolime's live. Here, let me look over here and see what they're up to. Bum, bum, bum. Well, what'd you guys think? Chat? Hey, chat. What do you think of my dad? Isn't he cool? Hey, she's married. No stubbing your toe all over the house. I mean, the point is that we're married, so, I mean... I'm married to Milliardo, in case you're new. Thanks for the stream, Minna and Minna's dad. Thanks for the stream. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Illuminating, yeah. In case you didn't know it, I have 2 children with Milliardo Beercraft, so there's that. Let's see. Let me check what people are doing. No. Oh, no. Wrong place. I was trying to go over here. It'll be interesting on the sibling stream talking about, because I feel like we never had like a petty relationship between siblings, like personally trying to be mean to each other or.
We definitely bumped heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, we bumped heads, but there's never a.
Different degrees, but I don't think any of it was mean-spirited.
Yeah.
No, it's just growing pains, you know, relationship, learning yourselves, that sort of stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, it kind of, and then went away and everything's cool.
But just like ways I've seen other people talk about the relationship or relate their siblings growing up, where the siblings will come by and probably just kind of like mess with their stuff or things like that. I think mom never let any of that start. And also, we all hung out together, so.
I think more critically, actually worked together. Especially after we got the farm.
Yeah. Let's see. Should we do, here, Dad, who should we do? Should we do Nyana or should we do Lolime?
Nyana.
Okay, let's do Nyana. I think Lolime hasn't streamed in a while, but he's back. He says he's re-debuting as a male now, so. No. We have 3 Lolimes, at least. We have a German one, we have Lolage, and then we have the OG Lolime. And it was all like the female characters, but now he's a male, I guess. So, woo! Let's go over. Alright, we're gonna go to Nyana. Send you guys over there. She's done some cool concerts. She's trying to raise money for more. Alright, well, I guess that's all then. Let me go over here. Well, goodbye, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thanks, Dad, for letting me drag you on stream.
Okay.
I crashed the farm. I'll have to go through and listen to the rest of the video.
Yeah. Since I'm over at Rocky's place, a lot of times he's crashing my, well, especially the membership drawing streams.
Yeah.
You were in a bunch of those ones.
I probably have.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
I need to get all my streams organized for this month.
I think I'm losing the gift membership I had on your channel.
Yeah. Alright, let me go to close out. Alright, well, that is all. Until next time, stay fresh, my friends. Bye!